My in-laws made me sleep on the couch, so I booked a beach hotel for my wife and her sisters. My wife and I got married last summer, so when her parents invited us to stay a few days, I figured it would be simple. They live across the country, and I'd never stayed in their house before, but we'd always been friendly. We flew in yesterday, ate dinner, talked, and everything felt normal. Then my wife said, "I'm tired, let's go to bed," and I followed her down the hall. Her dad stopped us and pointed at the couch. "You sleep there," he said. I actually laughed, waiting for the punchline. Her mom didn't laugh. She said, "In this house, couples don't share a bed." I said, "We're married." Her dad said, "Not under my roof." My wife tried, "Dad, he's my husband," and he said, "I don't care." I looked at the couch, and my back already hurt. I've had back problems since a car accident years ago, and that thing was sagging in the middle with stiff cushions. I asked if there was a guest bed or even an air mattress. Her mom said, "No." Her dad said, "If you respect me, you'll do what I said." I kept my voice calm and said, "Respect goes both ways. You don't split up a married couple." His face went cold, and he said, "Then leave." My wife went quiet, eyes on the floor. I asked her, "Are you coming with me?" She whispered, "Please don't make this a fight. Just stay." That hurt, but my back and my pride were done. I grabbed my bag and said, "I'm getting a hotel. You can stay if you want." No one stopped me. I drove to a motel, checked in, and slept on a real bed. In the morning, I texted my wife to ask when I should come by. She called and said her parents wanted an apology for me leaving. I said, "Fine, I'll apologize for walking out, but they need to admit the couch rule was wrong." She said she'd talk to them. A few minutes later, she called back and said, "They won't. And now they say you have to come back and sleep on the couch the rest of the visit, or you're not welcome here." I could feel my face get hot. I said, "So your dad can insult me, and I'm the one who has to beg?" She didn't answer. I could hear her dad in the background, sharp and loud, like he was right next to her. Then her sisters started texting me. "This is just how dad is. Mom's upset. Please give in before he ruins the whole week." My wife texted, "I'm stuck in the middle. Please just do it." I stared at that message and couldn't believe this was real. I told her, "I'm not sleeping on that couch, and I'm not apologizing for having boundaries." She said, "So you're not coming back?" "Not on those terms," I said. For a minute, I thought I'd just do my own thing all week and meet her at the airport, but I hated the idea of us being split like that. So I asked my wife and her sisters to meet me for dinner away from their parents. They showed up tense, checking the door, checking their phones. One sister said, "If dad finds out, he'll freak out." I said, "I just need to understand what I'm walking into." I asked my wife, "Did you know he was going to make us sleep apart?" She shook her head. "No, I thought we'd be treated like a married couple." I asked her sisters, "Is he always this controlling?" They hesitated. Then one said, "He has to be in charge." The other said, "If you push back, he takes it out on everyone." My wife said, "He'll be angry all week, and he'll punish mom and us for it." I sat there and realized the couch wasn't the point. It was him testing me, and them being scared to challenge him. I asked, "So you all just let him do whatever he wants?" One sister looked down and said, "Most of the time, yeah, we do." I asked my wife, "Is this what you expect me to do forever? Just give in?" She swallowed and said, "No, I just don't know how to handle him." That was the moment I stopped trying to win his approval. I pulled out my phone and booked a hotel by the beach in San Diego for the rest of the week. I turned the screen and said, "I'm going today. If you and your sisters want a break, I'll book a second room." They stared at me like I was offering something forbidden. One sister whispered, "He'll explode when we leave." I said, "Let him explode. You deserve 1 week where you're not scared of his mood." My wife asked, "What if he says we're not welcome back?" I said, "Then he's the one choosing that, not us." They went quiet. Then the oldest sister nodded. "If we do it, we have to leave when they're at work," she said. My wife took a long breath and said, "Okay, I'm coming." A couple hours later, I waited in my car down the street while they packed. Then the side door opened, and they rushed out with bags, looking both excited and terrified. They tossed everything into my trunk, slid into the seats, and my wife locked her door like we were escaping. I pulled away and headed for the highway, and before we even hit the first stoplight, her dad's name lit up her screen, calling over and over. Now my wife is stuck between us because I refused the couch. Was I wrong?